Hey y'all, so today I wanted to kind of just sit down and talk to you about AI art and what this has to do with Pestilence, the metal community, etc., etc. I've been wanting to do this video for a little bit, especially because some new things have come into the fold regarding Pestilence, and I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts. It's just going to be kind of unconventional for me and a little bit of a rant, but for context, we know that AI is very popular right now, right? I mean, it's basically everywhere, and it's unavoidable at this point. If you notice, like when you search into Google, you see the AI overview pop up. Now YouTube's got the AI video summaries for some videos, and then you have specifically for metal, you have metal bands like Frostbite or Kings, and you have metal AI cover art starting to come into play. We saw this with Banished by Sin from Deicide, and then we saw this with Pestilence's most recent best of compilation record, Levels of Perception, and it's here to stay. I don't think AI is going to go anywhere. It really isn't, and in fact, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, and everything that AI touches is not good. I think that there are certain things that you can use AI for that do have a positive impact. There's some things with ChatGPT specifically that I think has some positive influence. And then there's other productivity apps too. That's a whole different side thing. But, a lot of this AI stuff is actually genuinely affecting creatives on all fronts. The AI overview for Google has hurt blog content creators like crazy, and the YouTube video AI summaries, that hurts content creators like me because it just blurts out a few sentences about what my video is about, and then if it's not interesting to you, boom, you're gone, right? And then it's the metal bands like Frostbite or Kings just kind of leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. They're like, why would I want to listen to that when I can listen to, any other band by real musicians? And it's the same concept with using AI cover art. And Pestilence specifically has been getting a lot of hate, and they've been getting roasted to hell for their usage of AI, and more importantly, them defending their usage of AI, which is what brought me to making this video and having this conversation. I basically ran across this post on my Reddit. Somebody took a screenshot of this post from Pestilence Facebook page, and they were basically defending AI. Now, at this point and time, this post is no longer on their Facebook page. So they did delete this. And you notice right there on the bottom how it says comments are limited on this post. That's because Pestilence knows how much hate they're getting for their AI usage. But this basically is just saying, I've got something to get off my chest, defending the metal bands using AI cover arts. They're saying huge budgets for real paintings are a thing of the past, and the idea of having mutilated bodies and zombies and extreme gore also a thing of the past for Pestilence. And it's okay, well, so you, instead of changing your art style using a real artist and just changing your art style, you're just gonna use AI to change it for you. Also, look at the fucking skeleton zombie woman in the photo. You're mutilated bodies and zombies and extreme gore a thing of that's literally the photo you have in your post is a dead grandma. Okay, that looks like somebody from The Walking Dead. That is something that, as Cannibal Corpse-esque, it's literally a zombie. That's literally what you have on there. So you would just rather use AI zombies. Got it. But yeah, this is the post that essentially put Pestilence back on my radar for this whole AI thing. And I'm telling you, their Facebook page is hilarious because they are just getting wrecked. Every single time they post, they're getting bullied so hard. August 13th of 2024, they posted an AI generated video for Internicionem. And they were like, yes, it's AI, don't like it, keep scrolling. So they're very aware of people and their hate. But this video, I don't know why, like, AI videos are just so weird, and they're kind of gross. Like, am I the only one that looks at like AI photos and videos and I just like get a weird taste in my mouth? Like, they're just kind of gross, and I don't know. And so you had a ton of people, they limited comments on this post, but you did have a ton of people roasting them for that. And then they posted just recently on December 28th a live performance, and they had so many comments from people saying, why not use AI to replace the musicians while you're at it? And they just have so many people that are like, why would I go and see a real band when I can go and see an AI band? You know, why would I pay for a concert ticket when AI can give me music for free? Why aren't you using AI to play for you? Playing live is old times, isn't it? You get my point. So basically, Pestilence is making an ass out of themselves. They're totally a joke at this point, and it's just kind of embarrassing to see. But using AI in this way is just very insulting for real artists, and I've always thought that, and I've talked about this briefly in my 2024 best and worst video, and a little bit in my deicide video. And I just think we need to seriously have a conversation and boycott the usage of AI, full stop. And I think that we're doing a really good job. Like, I want to say I'm proud of a lot of us because we are not letting it slide. And it's very, very obvious in my opinion, because, you had that AI metal band Frostbite or Kings. They were really being talked about a lot by especially some big YouTubers in like 2023, and then they also released their first like debut album and nobody fucking talked about it. I remember I did a video on the band way before they released their debut, and I had so many comments from people saying, why would I want to listen to that when I can listen to real musicians? Like, it's never going to replace like real musicians, so I have no interest in listening to it. And yeah, I never heard anything about their debut record, and I think that's great, and some people could argue like, oh, well, Frostbite or Kings is, basically a bunch of dudes playing instruments into a computer, and then that AI system is pulling songs, like making songs from real instruments. And it's like, I don't give a shit. Why don't you just like write and play real music as musicians and then record your own album? Why are you going through the effort of like programming it into a computer so it could shit out music for you? You're, I guess, only doing that so you can avoid copyright? Like, it's just dumb and seems very time consuming in my point of view. And again, it just makes it seem like making real music is like, such a chore, right? Like, why would I do that? Why would I hire a real artist when I can just have a computer shit me out something and then I can just slap it on my record and call it good, And it's like, we're seeing more and more of this AI art. And I want to tell you something, like, we just had the holidays, so it's like January 15th. So we just like had Christmas. Over Christmas break, I'm chilling with my mom. She's like, put on some Christmas music. And I'm like, okay. So I try and find like Christmas playlist in YouTube, and the amount of AI generated Christmas playlists, like photos and videos that were in like all of the Christmas playlist, was so uncanny and so disturbing and creepy, and you should just look it up. I mean, I had such a hard time trying to even listen to and enjoy the music for the holidays because there were like weird wreaths that were like melting into the wall, and then like the Christmas bulbs on the trees were like stretched, and like it was just so disturbing. And I'm like, why are we okay with this? Why are we okay with like AI art in this way and AI photographs? And I'm like, how hard would it have been for you to take a fucking picture of your own Christmas tree and just put it in there? How hard would it have been to get a free Pexels Christmas photo and then just have that go to Canva and put some fucking sparkles on that bitch. Like, I don't understand why we have to like plug in and have some weird like Santa in a cowboy hat riding a damn horse and have him moving around, but it's like AI. Like, that was a real one, and it was so disturbing. And I just don't understand how we're okay with this. And thankfully, I think a lot of us in the metal community are not okay with it. But specifically for Pestilence, like, I just find it so incredibly insulting as a musician. Even though I don't play metal music, I find it so incredibly insulting as a musician and as an artist that they have decided to defend their usage of AI art, because they are just spitting in the faces of actual artists and musicians that have spent so much time and so much effort and so much energy and blood and sweat and tears and nights, just staying up all night, drinking coffee and Monsters and doing like their albums or like doing their art, trying to reach a deadline, like just worrying about whether or not they're going to get work or whether or not they're going to get paid for this, or, oh my God, like I've got this opportunity. Like, you're basically just shitting on all of that to use AI. And I just find that incredibly insulting. And I think, the complete opposite situation of this, I think about Vincent Locke. Like, Vincent Locke is the artist that has been doing all of Cannibal Corpse's album covers literally since the beginning. He has been their artist for every single album. He is a legendary artist. Bar none, has some of the most famous, amazing album covers. Butchered at Birth, Skeletal Domain comes to mind. You could even throw Kill. Like, Kill is like the most objectively boring album cover that Cannibal Corpse has. And he even created that. And it's like, by Pestilence defending AI, they are basically just spitting in Vincent Locke's face and being like, none of that matters. We're just going to use this. Like, we don't need to spend, hundreds of dollars on a real artist and have all this time and everything that you've put into your art. We don't need to do that. We'll program it into a computer and it'll shit it out for us. And that's what that feels like. And it's like, imagine saying no to Vincent fucking Locke, dude. Like, imagine picking AI over Vincent Locke to do your album art. Like, it's just odd. And it's like, why is that okay? That shouldn't be okay, because you're just making it seem like real artists and real musicians are not important. And it's like, we've already decided as a community that Frostbite Ore Kings is not worth our time. We would rather listen to real, authentic metal music. And it's like, that's why we want real, authentic cover arts. Now, you do not have to, spend a ton of money to get a good album cover art. There was even somebody on their page that said, on that Facebook page, that said, they could have easily just done a black background and then just put their Pestilence logo in yellow and lime green. They could have easily just had that, and that still would have been fine for fans. It would not have been hard for them to find an image on Pexels or take a picture of some fucking railway whatever shit, a tree or the sun or whatever. They could have literally taken a picture of anything in their real life, gotten a free image from Pexels, or if we really wanted to go kind of a shitty cheap route, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and be let's just say they're broke ass bitches, right? And so they could go to Fiverr or Upwork and literally pay $10 to some Indian man, and they could create them something, or they could have commissioned an artist from Instagram or Facebook. There's a fuck ton of artists on Instagram that I'm sure would love to work with Pestilence or any metal band. And imagine how cool it would have been if they got some small time artist to draw them something, and then they could have had that for their portfolio, and they could have been known for this one Pestilence album, and maybe Pestilence could have commissioned them for future work. That's how that works. That's how that works. It's not difficult. It's not difficult for you to find affordable artists or to create that shit for yourself. It's literally not that difficult, whether it's digital or physical media. You can do it. And it's like, you have the argument, it's a valid argument too, of people being like, well, it's not really about the cover art, it's about the music. Like, the music is more important, and I agree with you. And this is definitely the case for Banished by Sin from Deicide, because I gave that an album a 9 out of 10. It was my number 2 pick for 2024. I hate the album cover, but the music speaks for itself, in my opinion. I love that record. So yes, that is a valid point. But people forget that there are so many people like myself that also buy records and listen to records just based on the album cover. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a record shop, or I've gone onto Bandcamp, or I've gone onto YouTube and I've seen a cover and I'm like, that looks fucking cool. I'm going to press play. And that's what happened with Midnight Priest. I literally did that for Album of the Week #1, Midnight Priest. I saw that cover in my YouTube feed and I was like, that looks cool as hell. And I clicked on it. So it's like, if your cover is really, really good, there is a very, very high chance that people are going to click on it just because the album cover looks dope. And if you don't have a good cover, there is a large chance that people are going to be like, that doesn't look like it's up my alley. And one of the best examples of this is Abstract Solutions' 2022 album, Whoa. Like, I'll put the picture up here, but this is one of the most beautiful album covers ever. And what I love about it so much is that it's a real painting. Whether it's oil or acrylic, I don't know, but you can see when you look at the image close up that it's a real painting. Like, they paid an actual artist. You see the texture of the canvas, the texture of each of the strokes, and it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous album cover. And you can tell that it was very well done, and it makes you want to listen to the record. And you should listen to that record because it is really good. But that is just a perfect example of hiring an actual artist to do an oil painting or acrylic painting, working with physical media, and getting a very good result out of it. Now, of course, they have to digitize that painting for album covers. That's just how it works. But you can still see the texture, and you can still see like the little clumps and balls of paint from the strokes. And I think that is also one of my favorite things with real painting, with real art like that. And no one's saying you have to hire somebody that does physical media. Like, you don't have to hire somebody to do this massive oil painting. Like, that's going to be expensive, because God knows how long that cover for Whoa took. But do you know how many like talented digital artists there are that use like Procreate and like Illustrator? Like, my whole point, it would not be difficult for Pestilence to find an artist, even a cheap one, Upwork or Fiverr girl. Like, take a picture, be like Peter Steele, and just take a picture of your own butthole. Like, you could literally, there are tons of different ways for you to have a good album cover without having to subject yourself to AI. Because like, the moment that we accept AI in this creative field is the moment that we, stop appreciating real art in every single form. It is the moment that we stop appreciating creativity for what it truly, genuinely is. And thankfully, I'm so proud of the metal community, because we're not standing for it. And it's like, we are not standing for it. Metal music, even though I've only been listening to it for like 3 years, I still consider myself a fairly new metalhead. But it's like, metal music is about authenticity. Metal music has always been about being outside of the norm, being an outsider, and doing something unconventional. And that's how I perceive it and understand it from its origins, and it's like, the moment that we accept AI into this and everything, it just makes it not metal. It loses its value, and AI is never going to replace humans. It is never going to replace the creativity that we create as humans, physical or digital or, music wise, it is never going to replace our creativity unless we allow it. And the Pestilence has decided that they want to allow that. And they're saying that's okay. And I'm going to hold Glenn accountable to that too. I love you, Glenn, and I love Deicide, but I do not want to see any more AI cover art. I don't want to see or hear anything about AI metal bands in our community. And thankfully, we're shutting that shit down real fast. We are. And that's a good thing. We do not want that in our community. We don't want that in any community because it only hurts creativity in the long run. And it just hurts real artists at the end of the day. And that's not what we want. So that's my rant. That's really all I have to say. I'm sorry if I came across as kind of an asshole, but I'm just passionate about it. I just, I've been doing music for over 10 years and, the thought of AI replacing, me and other bands that I know and love, not that I hold myself to any sort of high standard, but, replacing music from underground artists, it frustrates me because we work really hard. Y'all work really hard. So, we just gotta band together. We gotta stick together and we gotta shove these AI posers out the field. So let me know down below in the comments, what is your take on all this shit? Do you think it's just shit? What do you think about this whole Pestilence drama, about AI being in here? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just passionate about music and I want us to have a real conversation about this because AI is just going to get worse before it gets better. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, you guys.